Ava and Chloe Robinson were only 10, dressed in matching navy varsity jackets, crisp white joggers, and bright red sneakers, their straight hair pulled into neat ponytails. Excited for a weekend with Grandma, they looked like tiny athletes ready for an adventure. They had flown alone before, but this time, minutes before boarding, a smiling gate agent suddenly stiffened. Her eyes narrowed as if she'd discovered a secret. Their tickets were valid, their seats confirmed, yet the rules changed without warning. Passengers glanced over, sensing tension as the final boarding call echoed. Surrounded by strangers, the twins felt the sting of suspicion for one reason only: the color of their skin. With the aircraft door about to close, one phone call would decide everything. Friday afternoons in New York's LaGuardia Airport were always busy, but the Robinson twins thrived on adventure. Their dad, Daniel Robinson, a well-known tech entrepreneur, booked them on a direct flight to Atlanta to visit Grandma Carol. He triple-checked every detail, printed confirmations, TSA pre-check, and their favorite snacks packed neatly in their sporty backpacks. Ava loved the buzz of airports, the rolling suitcases, the smell of coffee from kiosks. Chloe clutched the novel Grandma had promised to read with her. They breezed through security, their unaccompanied minor lanyards bouncing as they laughed about the peach cobbler awaiting them. At Gate 32, families chatted and business travelers typed on laptops. The girls settled near the boarding door, tapping a quick game on Chloe's phone. Boarding began. They waited for their group to be called. Everything felt perfectly ordinary. Until it didn't. The gate agent, a tall white woman in a crisp airline uniform skirt suit, blonde hair neatly pinned, scanned their tickets. The smile faded. Can I see these again?" she asked, her tone suddenly sharp. The woman studied the boarding passes as if decoding a secret. "Where are your parents?" she asked. "They're at work," Ava answered carefully. "Our dad booked our tickets." "We're going to see Grandma." The agent's brow furrowed. She beckoned a co-worker, whispering. Then she said, "I'm sorry, but you can't board right now. There's a problem with your reservation." Confusion flushed their cheeks. Chloe held out the printed confirmation Daniel had insisted they carry. The flight number, times, and seat assignments matched perfectly, but the agent wasn't convinced. "Who purchased these tickets? Are you sure it wasn't fraudulent?" Passengers nearby began to notice. A man in a business suit frowned. A mother with a stroller looked away uncomfortably. The girls felt eyes on them, measuring, doubting. The loudspeaker announced final boarding for Flight 1783. Panic pricked Ava's chest. "Please," Chloe said softly. "We've flown alone before." "I need you to step aside," the agent said firmly, motioning to a corner near the counter. Tears welled in Ava's eyes. She thought of Grandma waiting at the arrivals gate, of Dad trusting the airline. She fumbled for her phone and dialed him with trembling fingers. "Dad, they won't let us on," she whispered, voice shaking. Daniel answered instantly. "What do you mean?" "Hand the phone to the gate agent." The agent hesitated when Chloe offered the phone. Daniel's calm, firm voice carried through the speaker. "This is Daniel Robinson, the ticket holder and their father. Please explain why my daughters are being denied boarding." "We need to verify the booking," the agent stammered. "I booked it with my credit card." "Check your system," Daniel said. "Now put your supervisor on." A supervisor arrived, his expression tight. The final boarding door clicked shut. The plane was minutes from pushback. "This is unacceptable." Daniel's voice cut through the phone. "I'm a platinum member and a partner of your airline. You will not let this flight leave without my daughters." The supervisor signaled to halt the aircraft. Phones rang behind the counter. Corporate operations was on the line. Within minutes, instructions came from the top. "Board the Robinson twins immediately." Passengers craned their necks as the jet bridge reopened. Flight attendants whispered among themselves as Ava and Chloe, clutching their sporty backpacks, finally stepped down the aisle. Relief mingled with humiliation. The cabin seemed to vibrate with quiet disbelief. They found their seats, but the questions wouldn't stop swirling. Would this have happened if they looked different? If Dad hadn't been influential? The twins sat in silence, holding hands as the plane finally pushed back. Hours later in Atlanta, Grandma Carol hugged them tight, sensing the unease. When Daniel arrived the next morning, he was still on calls. Media inquiries, airline executives, legal advisors. The airline issued a statement. "We regret a miscommunication regarding unaccompanied minors." But everyone in the family knew better. The tickets were flawless. The issue was never about paperwork. Daniel chose to speak publicly. On social media, he recounted the entire experience, the suspicion, the whispered accusations, the public humiliation of two children who had done nothing wrong. The post went viral. Thousands shared their own stories of quiet, everyday racism in airports, stores, and classrooms. Within weeks, the airline announced mandatory bias training for all staff and revised procedures for minors traveling alone. Policies changed, but the memory didn't. Ava later described the moment as the day I learned that even a perfect ticket doesn't always open the door. How many other families endure similar treatment without a CEO father to demand answers? How many flights take off while silent discrimination lingers at the gate? This wasn't just a travel glitch. It was a mirror held up to society, a reminder that racism doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply says, "You can't board," and expects no one to question why.